Hello students, welcome back. We just went through section 1 and section 2 of this notebook. Complex numbers, important but easy. Radical equations, not very important but very difficult. So go figure. I left it as an optional video. Now let's go over to inequalities. Linear inequalities, just remember this. If you multiply positive number, we keep the same direction. Multiply a negative number, then we have to flip the order of this computation. So here we go. All right, let's go with an elementary example like this. All right. This is something I believe everybody's already familiar, but we're gonna need some warming up anyway. So how do we do? Move like terms. Move this 8 to the other side. 3x minus 8x. And then 15 was there before. Flip this negative 7 to the other side. Plus 7. So what do you get? Negative 5x is less than or equal to 15 plus 7, which is 22. All right. So x is less than or equal to 22 over negative 5. Is that right? The answer is no. I just made a mistake at the final step. I failed to flip the order of this inequality. I just divided by negative numbers, so I should have flipped it over. So that's the right one. And better to write like this rather than previously. And even though this is correct form, I don't like it very much. In order to get an interval notation, I'd prefer to have smaller number to my left. So let me rewrite this entire thing. Negative 22 over 5 is less than or equal to x, right like this. Or everything is less than infinity, so this is not really necessary, but if you insert it, then it's easier to get the interval notation. Negative 22 over 5, infinity, like this. Toward infinity, we always have parentheses because nothing can be equal to infinity. To the number part, you can sometimes have parentheses, sometimes bracket. Semi-inequality, when equality is allowed, that's when we have bracket. Okay. If you just be a little bit careful about dividing by negative number, this is not going to be too difficult stuff. Just a little bit of algebraic manipulation, that's it. Now, the next problem here is intended as a review. What do you mean by review? We haven't done linear equations here. No, review of breaking up parentheses. You see, do you remember the standard process? Denominator, parentheses, and like terms. This one starts from parentheses. So we have to do just like we have been doing for equation, for linear equation and quadratic equation. We have to break a parentheses, and we have to do that first, and then we can work out the usual stuff for inequalities. Ready? Okay, let's go. Okay, 4 plus 3x, that's good. Let's distribute this negative 3. Negative 3 times 3, so that's going to give me negative 9. And negative 3 times negative 2x, that's plus 6x. Please pay attention to the red part. Oh, excuse me, I didn't want this to be red. Okay, red part. That's how you break apart. Negative 3 distributes to 3 and also negative 2x, so we have sign change. Let's do it again here. distribute -2, so that's gonna give me -6, and then distribute -2 again, -4x. Pay attention to the blue part. This turning that. Is everybody comfortable? Alright, then let's work out the like terms. 3x plus 6x, so 9x, and then 4 minus sign, minus 5, is greater than, and then x minus 4x, so -3x, and 11 minus 6, so that's 5. Let's align the inequality. Does everybody feel okay about this simplification? Just taking the like terms. You see, parentheses, like term. Denominator, parentheses, like term. Okay, for the like terms, this 9x here, this -3x here, they're like terms, so let's move on. And then flip this -3x to the other side, so we have plus 3x. And then flipping this -5 to the other side, okay, one more. 12x is greater than 10, and thus I'm getting the answer. X is greater than 10/12, which is the equivalent to 5/6. That's okay, but I like inequalities in standard form. Smaller numbers to the left, larger numbers to the right. So this form here and that form here are equivalent, but I like the second form a little bit better because I can readily translate into interval notation because everything is less than infinity. Smaller number, comma, larger number. Smaller number, less than, x, less than infinity. Okay, that was the solution. Please check the answer. Everything was okay. And as for breaking up parentheses, something that you'll have to review all the time. Speaking of review, I have even more interesting problem down here. It's an inequality, yes, but it begins from denominator. Remember the standard order? Denominator, parentheses, like term. Okay. Basic strategy. Denominator, parentheses, like terms. It applies everywhere. Same thing there. So what do? Multiply something to remove all the denominators and then remove parentheses, kind of like what we did before, and then take the like terms, and in the end you're going to get an inequality. I'll leave this problem completely to the students.